Hello, my name is Artez, and welcome to Insure Your Success podcast for entrepreneurs. And thank you for joining me today. And if this is your first time joining me, if you like what you hear, please make sure that you subscribe, like, and share with other like minded entrepreneurs. So let's get started with today's topic. And today I want to talk about being in the right room. And being in the right room can accelerate your business in many ways that books, courses, and YouTube videos can't. Recently, I just got back from attending a conference in Orlando, Florida called MedicareCon. And I first want to say shout out to Justin Brock and his team for putting on what I would consider one of the best events that I have personally attended in many years. I don't know Justin Brock personally. I just know him through his YouTube videos and all the training information that he has put out. And he has been giving this conference, I think maybe for the last 4 or 5 years. So this is not me pushing the conference. I don't have anything to do with the conference. I was an attendee just like many other people that was there. But I could truly say it was an awesome conference. If you don't know what MedicareCon is a conference that's for insurance agents, particularly those insurance agents who focuses on health insurance products for seniors like Medicare Advantage and MedSup. So if you are an insurance agent and you do health insurance for seniors and you looking to scale your business, I will highly recommend you put this conference on your calendar for next year. Now, this was my first time attending this conference, and probably over the last few years, I have really been distancing myself from conferences like this. And let me tell you the reason why. I have seen that not just my industry, but other industries, a lot of these conferences tend to be watered down. And so what I mean by that, they really don't give you no value, or they are given by people who I like to say that don't have no street cred. And so what do I mean by people who don't have no street cred? Meaning that they are trying to sell you a program or a product or a system that they themselves have never used. That's what I mean about street cred. Or they give these conferences and they just give you a little bit of information so you could buy their book, their product, their service, their software, or whatever they might be selling. Now, I don't have no problem with you trying to sell your product, your service, your software, whatever it is that you're trying to sell, or if you're trying to recruit salespeople. My problem is, what value have you given in order for me to want to buy your product or service? So let me use the example of Justin Brock, since I just got back from the MedicareCon event. Justin has been putting out a bunch of information on YouTube. And a lot of the information is valuable information. Information you could actually take and you could apply it to your business. A lot of information many people will pay you to get. So over the years, he has put out countless of videos, countless of articles to really help insurance agents or insurance agency owners, I should say, like myself, to build and grow their business. Now, once again, I don't know Justin personally. I don't work with him. I just like what he's doing, the content and the information that he puts out. Not only that, Justin has street cred. He has built a multi-million-dollar agency. And I can remember back in the days, me and Justin at one time did work for the same organization, but I didn't know him personally. But I know he went out door-to-door selling insurance. So he has street cred. So he started off as an agent, like many insurance agents do, going out door-to-door, offering insurance products to the senior market, and built a multi-million-dollar business. So as an entrepreneur, before you go to these events, before you invest into these books and these courses, make sure that the person that is giving you the information has some street cred and they have done it themselves. Now, events like this put you in the right room, and it puts you in the room with other like-minded individuals like yourself. And if you want to grow your business, if you want to scale your business, you got to start being in some rooms. So I said to myself, my feet been in this box for too long. It's time to move my feet, and I need to get into some other rooms if I really want to scale my business. Sometimes we could stay in our little box and we are doing great. Everything is finally clicking. You're making enough money to pay your bills, to pay your business expenses. And you're kind of comfortable in your own little world. But when you step outside your box, you realize it's a much bigger world. So I made up my mind that this year I was going to step outside my box and I want to see what's out there because I'm ready to scale and grow my business. So when I went to the conference and I sat down and I took my seat, and as I was listening to some of the presenters that was coming up there, I was just in awe. What it took me probably 10 years to do, a lot of these individuals were doing it within 3 to 5 years. So I knew I was in the right room, and I knew I had to take plenty of notes, and I needed to network with plenty of people because my goal is to actually scale my business 10 times, 10x as they say, within the next 3 to 5 years. So I took plenty of notes. And after taking notes, of course, they had time for us to network. And I was able to network with some individuals that are doing some amazing things. Going to events like this are designed to get you uncomfortable. And yes, I left uncomfortable because I thought I was doing something. But for me, I left with saying I'm doing all right, but I ain't doing great. But a lot of things that they were saying was things that I heard before, but just wasn't doing it. They were taking the things that I knew that I needed to do if I wanted to 10 times my business, they were actually doing. One of the many mistakes that entrepreneurs make, including myself, I'm no different than many of you all watching this channel here. Sometimes we don't take the money and reinvest back into our business. Yes, we want to pay ourselves. Yes, we want to be able to treat ourselves, but you have to take that money and reinvest it back into your business. And in this day and time, you need to invest that money into marketing. A lot of times we go to these conferences, we go to these events, and we're looking for a big secret. But the big secret was make money, take that money, and reinvest it back into your business and reinvest a big portion of it into marketing. Invest a big portion of it into technology, particularly AI technology, and that was a big topic too as well. So what do I mean by investing back into marketing? Of course, they talked about investing into digital marketing, websites, Facebook, Google Ads, investing your money back into marketing. More money you're investing into marketing, the quicker that you are going to scale your business. Many entrepreneurs struggle with that. You have to be willing to bet on yourself. Now, sometimes marketing works, sometimes it doesn't work. That's just the luck of the draw. But what I found out with these individuals, they were consistent. You know, they even talked about some of their challenges in marketing, right? Sometimes they'll run an ad and the ad doesn't do so great, but one of their colleagues may run that same ad and it works out real great for them, right? It's trial and error in marketing, but the key to marketing is you have to be consistent. The one who markets the most is the one that's going to win in business. They just didn't talk about paid marketing. They also talked about organic marketing. So what is organic marketing? Organic marketing is what I'm doing right now, creating videos and posting them on YouTube, social media, and Instagram. There's no way that if you're an entrepreneur in this day and time, you should not be using social media, a tool that is free. you should at least be posting something about your business at least one time a day. Now, it's cool for you to post stuff about your family, about your vacation, and a new car you bought, and all that other good stuff. But you should be posting something every day about your business. That could be a video, that could be a picture, that could be an infographic, it could be you posting someone else talking about the product and services that you provide. But every day, you should post something around your business. So now I want to talk about the real power of being in the right room. And for me, the real power of being in the right room and attending events like this is networking. Networking is the real power about being in these type of rooms. It allows you to connect with people who you probably would never get a chance to connect with on a personal level. Let me give you an example. One individual that I wanted to be connected with also has a social media channel. Now, I've reached out to this individual a few times just to try to connect to him, kind of slid in his DMs and, comment on some of his posts. But we never made the connection. And I get it. When you're successful, you have a lot of people reaching out to you, and you have to separate the real from the fake, right? So sometimes you could be a little bit apprehensive of who you give your time to. And that's what successful people do. They're real careful who they give their time to. So when I got to the event, I saw this individual and I saw him on the day one. And I'm not going to lie to you all, I had the jitterbugs. I said, I need to go meet this brother. And I'm going to give you the brother name because I think you should also follow his YouTube channel, his podcast. His name is Daryl Doe. So shout out to Daryl and Michael Doe out of South Carolina. They are doing some awesome things out there. So shout out to them and all the great work that they are doing. But I have been seeing Daryl on social media, and he has a podcast, really good podcast. And I kind of reached out to him, kind of shot in his DMs, introducing myself, commented on some of his posts. And when I saw him at MedicareCon, I said, this is the individual I had to meet because he's doing some successful things. But I ain't gonna lie, my stomach was turning because I'm not really a person just to walk up to people. I'm actually an introvert. You might say, how are you an introvert if you're doing YouTube videos and podcasts? But I'm really an introvert in public. I just don't really walk up to people. So on day one, I didn't. On day two, I said, I got to build up some courage to walk up to people. So I walked up to him. I said, hey, Daryl, how you doing, man? And he said, how you doing? He looked at me like, well, who are you? I said, well, my name is Ortez. I comment on some of your videos, kind of shot you a DM, man. Really love what you're doing, man. Would love to connect and see what you and your team is doing. And, I have a team in Atlanta, man. I really like what I see that you're doing, man. Would love to connect. So he was like, okay. And he was smiling. And he was just like, wow, I could see the sense of shock on his face, right? I don't know if I'm the first person that ever walked up to him, and say, hey, I watch your podcast, so I don't know. But he was shocked. And then the next day, we was able to sit down and have some good conversation, and a connection was made. So the power of networking, the power of being in the right room. Now, if I didn't attend that event, I never would have met that brother. Never would have met him. No matter how many times I've got in his DMs, commented on his post, he probably would have never connected to me because he is a busy man. And like I said, when you're successful, you got to learn how to weed out the real from the fake. But by me attending that event, he got an opportunity to speak with me, and then we made the connection. It was one of the connections that I was looking to make at that event. And I made other few connections with some other successful individuals who I hope to have on my podcast in the future. But I wouldn't have made those connections if I wasn't in the right room. So a few takeaways that I want to leave with you here today. Number one, step outside your box. You cannot grow unless you are willing to step outside your box. You're going to know when you're outside your box when you're feeling uncomfortable. That's when you know that you are outside of your box. Number two, you need to expand your vision because the new box that you're going to step in may be too small for the vision that you already have. So step outside your box, but also be willing to expand your vision. Because if you don't expand your vision, then you're going to go right back to the little box that you just got out of. And number three, network and talk to people that's doing it better than you. Learn from them, congratulate them, and take what they say and apply it to your business. Being in the right room matters. And I want to leave you with a few more tips so you can make sure that you are actually in the right room. So before you attend an event, before you invest into a course, before you invest into a book, number one, research the speakers before investing. Make sure it's speakers that got street credibility, that they are actually doing what they are telling you to do or have done what they are telling you to do. Number two, look for people that are giving value for free. Look at their social media channels. Look to see if they have a YouTube channel or website, but look for people that are already giving value for free. Number three, talk to some of their mentees. Reach out to some of the people who have attended their seminars, their courses, who have worked with them. Talk to them and get their experience. And number four, make sure what they're teaching come from real experiences and it doesn't come from ChatGPT. So thank you again for tuning in to Insure Your Success podcast for entrepreneurs. If you found this information helpful, please make sure you subscribe, like, and share with other like-minded entrepreneurs. Until the next episode, peace.